Hi, JB here, and welcome to my bench. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to make a replica of the Amplivox Mini Light headset, possibly the most famous screen-used headset that you've never heard of. In the early 1970s, a UK company called Racal released a communications headset, the Amplivox RA150. The headset was originally used for military purposes, air traffic control, aviation, and communication control sectors. But it quickly caught the eye of prop masters and filmmakers, as its futuristic design helped it become a good fit within science fiction genres. Now, you've probably seen it featured in some form if you have ever watched sci-fi films from the late 70s to the present day. Here is an example of just a few that I cut together.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the emergency line of the San Angeles Police Department. If you prefer an automated response, press 1.
This is it.
We've lost lateral controls.
Don't worry. Chill all together. Hear me, baby. Hold together.
Squad leaders, we've picked up a new group of signals. Enemy fighters coming your way.
How many guns do you think, Go 5?
Say about 20 guns. Some on the surface, some on the tower.
Red 6, can you see Red 5?
U.S. spacecraft on course to intercept us, sir.
Activate laser.
What are you talking about?
That's not our system. I know that.
Move! Get out of there!
It is.
Dallas?
Everybody online, looking good.
Lieutenant, what do those pulse rifles fire?
10mm explosive tip caseless. Standard light armor piercing round 1.
Get them out of there! Do it now!
Shut up!
Fix whoever's left! Get the hell
Shut
out of
up!
here! Damn it!
Computer locked. Getting a signal. Gun. They've stopped.
Steady.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
So I'm going to make a replica of the headset in 3D printed resin. It would be great to source some real headsets, but since they have been out of production for many years, they are very rare to find, especially at an affordable price. You can find pre-painted or resin cast kits on sites like Etsy, but my method is a little bit cheaper. Luckily, I found a 3D model of the headset online. The download link is posted in the description text of this video. I took the 3D model and separated a few of the parts, so that I knew I could modify its design to accept an adjustable headband that I knew I could find cheaply. Since I don't have permission to share my modified 3D model, you can always take this video as more of a guide than a step-by-step tutorial. So, after resin printing the parts, I cut a 3mm brass tube to approximately 3 inches in length, and acquired the cheapest stereo headphones that I could find online that had an adjustable headband. I had already adjusted the 3D model slightly to accommodate the headband with a rectangular cutout to allow it to fit through the main body of the headset and the left side section. I then inserted the brass tube to the main body, where the whole section was already modelled to accommodate the headphone module. This would simply slide onto the brass tube to give the correct spacing and also provide added strength to that section when glued into position. The microphone boom was separately 3D printed in resin, Surprisingly, it was strong and flexible enough to work well as is, as it can be friction fit into its mounting hole with just enough tension to make it adjustable by hand. Here is the left side piece that has the same rectangular cutout as the main body. First, I added some superglue to one end of the brass tube. Now I'm using a gel consistency superglue for this, as I find it easier to control its flow when securing parts inside recesses. I add more glue to the other end of the tube, and as I insert the headphone piece over the top, I make sure to twist to make sure the glue has covered a good area inside to contact the surfaces. Once I'm happy with the alignment, I use an activator spray that helps set the glue nearly instantly into place. Now for the cheap headphones. I picked these up online and they seem to be quite a common style. You just want ones that have a sprung steel headband strip that go into plastic adjustable arms. By cutting off the plastic arms in these areas, you'll be left with the ideal section to complete your headset. The simple adjustment on these headphones work with friction, and they can be a little bit stiff to start with, so it's always a good idea to break them in a little bit by expanding them back and forth a few times. Now we can see where our rectangular cutouts come in. They are made to allow the cut-off headband arms to pass through. Once a dry fit of the headband is done, we can assemble the rest of the headset for a test fit. Once approved, I sanded the plastic on the headphone plastic arms in the areas that I knew I needed to apply glue to. Sanding the plastic allows the glue to properly bond between the plastic and the 3D resin printed parts. Again, I'm using a generous amount of superglue gel so as to ensure a good solid bond, and using the activator spray to accelerate the drying time. Any visible dried glue that is on the outside of the join is easily cleaned off later. Then after all the parts are glued, we have our assembled headset. Depending on the look that you're after, you can include the larger microphone spoon cover at the end of the boom, or add a replica of the communications cable to attach to the main body. For paint, I simply sprayed the parts with an off-white, then hand-washed some dirty mix of black and brown for the recessed areas. This added a bit of wear to them that felt appropriate to a used universe. I also picked out the occasional spot with a chrome ink pen, giving it a chipped edge here and there. For the microphone tip, you could try wrapping aluminium tape to achieve the effect, although I preferred painting that section with chrome paint after comparing the two finishes. So you can choose whatever paint scheme you want for your headset, as the different movies that featured them often tweaked and customized them in this way. As you can see from our Alien Romulus sketch, we went a bit hybrid. No cable and no microphone spoon cover, Pete's headset kept it in the familiar colour scheme of the original Alien film, and for Tommy, I went for a more grey olive drab scheme. As you can see, they both look pretty good, and ended up being surprisingly durable and comfortable to use. Hopefully, that may have inspired you to make your own replica headset, or at the very least appreciate the contribution of the Amplivox RA150 to movie history, and its very impressive starring roles. If you really like these videos, be sure to check out our Patreon page, where these videos will have a 7-day early access to members. If Patreon isn't your thing, but you'd still like to show your appreciation, there is a no obligation tip jar where you can give what you can so as to keep me supplied in cherry coke. Thank you so much to our existing Patreon members, and thank you everyone else for watching.